Welcome back for episode 3 of How to Have a Home Bar. In the last episode, we focused on some stirred cocktails. Tonight, we're focusing on some shaken cocktails. So we're gonna focus on two main ones.
Two main ones. So we're getting into sours. We're bringing in citrus.
So you have your base liquor, you have your flavoring, which is somehow sweetening, so whether that's sugar or liqueurs, and then your seasoning, which is like a bitters, or in this case, citrus, right?
Correct.
Learning, what drink are we making first?
So first, we're gonna start with the margarita. Let's start by making our drink.
That's sort of the whole thing, actually, Andrew, is let's start by doing what we said we were gonna do.
Exactly. Give the people what they want. The way we make a margarita is sometimes called the Tommy margarita. So it's a little bit drier, which means it doesn't have additional sugar outside of what these ingredients are. So you have your lime, your orange liqueur, and your tequila. Some places you'll add a little bit of simple syrup if you want it extra sweet. We prefer this. I like it. It's a little bit more reliant on the booze.
Boozy. Our base, our flavoring, our seasoning.
Yeah, so let's start. We're gonna take this whole lime, cut her in half. We're gonna do a full ounce of this lime. Full ounce of lime juice. We're gonna do a full ounce of Cointreau.
So an ounce and an ounce so far. What's the least amount of citrus you would put in a drink?
When I use a lime, because it's less acidic, I use a full ounce of it. When I go into a lemon or a grapefruit, I tend to aim towards 0.75.
Okay, cool. And then how much tequila did you just put in?
We just did an ounce and a half of tequila.
So an ounce, an ounce, and an ounce and a half.
Yes.
Love.
And now we're gonna shake it.
If somebody does want to sweeten it up, make it a little less strong, how much simple are they adding?
If you're adding simple, I would drop this to 3/4 of an ounce and then do a half ounce of simple.
Okay.
Let's put some salt on this rim. If you're juicing a lime, you can just cut it in half, hamburger style. And then this, you're gonna cut hot dog style. You're gonna cut it along so you have the outline of the lime. And then I like to do it wedges. If you're going for wheels, you're gonna cut it
wheels, that's what I meant.
like this. You wanna push the outside of this. Don't wanna push the inside, because our goal is to really wet the outside of this. So the salt we're getting stays mostly on the outside.
Gives like the drinker a little more control.
Yes.
Over the salt.
And we're just gonna roll this around on the outside.
And we're just using kosher salt.
Yeah, the only thing you don't want to use is iodized salt, because it's very salty.
Tahini, I love tahini.
We love tahini if you're going for a spicy margarita. What I like to do is just take this half spent lime, drop that right on the side there. I'm gonna fill this up about 3/4 full of ice. You're gonna strain right on top.
Beautiful. There you have it. Going in. I love it without the simple because it just stays a little more tart and you don't get that like sugary feeling as much, even though Cointreau has quite a bit of sugar.
You're not getting that coat.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so that's our first shaken cocktail. And I cut it for time, but Andrew does shake for, I think you're shaking for 45 to 60 seconds. Really, especially with something like this where it is a little boozier, that dilution really makes a difference. Let's move into our second drink. So base, sweetener, seasoning. What are we switching?
So we're gonna switch out tequila for gin.
So tequila for gin.
And then we're gonna swap Cointreau for simple, which we have to make.
And we'll show you how to make. Okay, but then the lime is staying. And this makes us
A gimlet.
I don't know, it just sounded very, like it had a cadence, the way we said that, I feel. To the stove.
All right, welcome to the stove. We're gonna make our simple syrup, which is a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and water. That's why it's simple.
So you're doing half cup?
Half cup of sugar and a half cup of water. Turn the stove on.
And we're just waiting for the sugar to dissolve, right?
Yeah. Basically, once it's clear, it's ready to go. So this is pretty much clear now. So I'm gonna put it in this Pyrex to make it easier to pour.
That took like 3-4 minutes. Truly lives up to the name of simple.
And I started on high, but you really want to bring it down. You never want to let it boil, because you're gonna start making caramel then. Look at that, it's pretty clear. Again, start with our citrus. Doing a full ounce of this again. And now this is still pretty warm, so don't grab the part of the jigger that you're pouring into, because it's about to heat up a lot. That comes in handy when you're making espresso martinis. 3/4 of an ounce.
So a little less than Cointreau.
Yes.
Which, as we discussed in episode 2, when you're just using sugar as a sweetener, you often need less than when you start to get into liqueurs where they're actually adding depth and flavor.
And now we don't have any other booze element in here. So we're doing a full 2 ounces of gin. Flip this over. Frozen coupe.
What makes you decide to use a coupe rather than over ice like you did with the margarita?
Tequila tends to be a bit stronger, a little more overpowering, so it's nice to have that diluted quickly with ice. Whereas something like Gimlet can kind of stand on its own, and you kind of want that more smooth velvetyness in the cocktail. Because you don't want ice ruining your velvetiness, we're gonna double strain this. So I have a little fine mesh strainer here.
This is something we didn't talk about in episode 1 when stocking your home bar, because it's not an essential.
No.
But it is a nice thing to have and not something super expensive. So, and Andrew does use it quite frequently.
And then if you want to garnish, I like to do a lime wheel. Drop that right on top.
I like my job in these. I just get to taste drinks. It's a totally different, not to keep using the word mouthfeel, but it does feel totally different in your mouth. Oh, that's really nice.
Now they're both very refreshing.
So there's 2 more drinks.
Next time we're gonna do martinis, and I'm gonna walk you through all the different iterations of the modern martini, from dirty, vodka, gin, wet, dry, what all those things mean. Figure out what you like. If you have any questions or anything, put them in the comments.
Yes, if you have any questions at all, please ask in the comments. If you want Andrew to make a specific drink, talk about a specific cocktail, happy to do that. In the meantime, we're just trying to show some popular drinks and get you thinking about like why you're putting what in, why you're using that much of that, whatever.
Yes.
You know?
We want to give you like the salt, fat, acid, heat idea of cocktailing.
Yes, which if you like to cook, that is an excellent book and you must read it. Until then, I'll take that one.
All right.
I love a gimlet.
Cheers. Cheers.